In this video, I'd like to expand on the video I made recently, which I call Piece of Cake. When I reviewed it last evening, I realized that there was a couple of points, important points that I missed, that I'd like to get out to you today in case you are one of the people that's considering retirement in Colombia, specifically Armenia, and to help you have all of the information so you can make a decision whether it's soon or 3, 4, 5, 6 months down the road. My name is William Hutchison. I'm the owner of Armenia Colombia Realty for Expats. I've lived in Colombia for 13 years, in Armenia for 12. Stay tuned to the end of the video and I'll give you some square foot, condo, and penthouse numbers, prices that you're going to find very attractive. Having said that, our advice is and always has been to rent when you come here if you don't know Armenia. There's no sense buying and having to go back to the United States or Canada or Europe and be stuck with trying to sell a place in Colombia. The first point that I missed and that I want to expand on is the pueblo lifestyle. I talked about the cities, but the pueblo lifestyle will likely appeal to a lot of people who want peace, quiet, nature. Colombia has 1,900 varieties of birds, the most in the world. Little rodents, guatine. It's unbelievable. But there are some downsides to being rural, to being on fincas, to living in spaces with no security. My focus always has been here, my personal safety. I've never lived outside of a gated community with 24-hour people at the gate. In a rural situation, most expats, I think, would expect to have to return to their home country or want to return to their home country at least once a year. There are expats here that spend 5 or 6 months a year in Colombia and then return to the United States. Perhaps they have a cottage or a cabin in the mountains or whatever, or even just a home that they enjoy, and they go back for 6 or 7 months. My concern is rural is if you leave for that length of time, will your belongings still be in the house when it's exposed to the general public? There's a good channel here for information on the rural lifestyle. Gino Perez Adventures. He's done a lot of videos. I did a few with him. Perhaps he's done now maybe 170 or 180 videos. He has a lot of information there on rural, on the options that you have, on the costs. It's something some information that you can really count on because most of it's firsthand. For me, personally, it's not convenient enough. He lives in a small complex. Yes, it's gated, but it's not locked. There's no human security. And he's at least 3 hours from an international airport. We're in Armenia here. I'm 30 minutes. That to me is worth money. Yes, it might be 10 or 15% cheaper. It could be 20% cheaper for rent to get a similar place. But Armenia is becoming a place for retired people. There's a lot of people coming here from the 3 big cities. They're buying the condos. Condo buildings are everywhere. You see cranes all over the city. And you can get a situation where you have some of nature. If you get the right unit in perhaps a townhouse, a lot of the townhouses back onto forest, and you'll have the birds and the animals that you want. It's just a matter of being patient and finding something. Now, I showed a townhouse about 2 months ago now. The lady had bird feeders out, and she had parrots coming to the bird feeders. That's what you can expect here. Now, I think if you've decided on the 4, 5, 6 places that you would like to explore and perhaps visit, if you come here for, depending on how many you have, 30 to 60 days, you can stay 180 days on a tourist visa. They give you 90 days generally when you arrive. And then there's another 90 days that you can renew for. You need to spend a lot of time on the weather channels checking out the climate. There are historical numbers. I think they go back in some cases into the late 1800s. But for example, if you look at Armenia, you'll see that most days the high temp is 27, 80, within a degree or two. And at night it's 16, which is again within a degree or two of 60. That doesn't vary during the year because we're so close to the equator that there is no variation. Similarly, days and nights are the same length year round, just about 12 hours. They do fluctuate 15, 20 minutes. For example, right now it's getting dark at 6:20 in the afternoon or the early evening. And that's a little bit later than it has been in the past. Once you have those locations sorted out and found climate that you like, you can go further and start looking at the individual towns and cities, population, what do they offer. My feeling is any city over perhaps 200,000 people is going to have most of the things that you need. But if you're looking at something a little out of the way, as long as you're within maybe an hour of one of the major cities, then you should be okay. The travel distances here are different. It's pretty regular that you might average 40 to 50 kilometers an hour because you drive through the little towns. They have speed bumps everywhere. There's no police radar. They control the speed with speed bumps. There's no bypasses. If the town is 300 people, the highway goes through the town. So it's hard to make good time. But within 50 or 60 kilometers of Bogota, Medellin, Cali, Armenia, and there's other cities, Bucaramanga, Cartagena, Barranquilla, you'll find most of the things that you need. I hope that clarification helps you. We're here if you need any advice that for whatever it's worth. You can leave a message for me. My contacts are at the bottom of the video. If you leave me your name and phone number, I will call you at a convenient time. I would be remiss, and I promised at the beginning of the video, if I didn't tell you about some square footage prices here that you might find a little bit unbelievable. There is an area of town, it's called Centenario, after the road, where a lot of the new condos are being built. It's a 4-laner, a lot of traffic. There's some very nice developments that go down kind of a secondary road, call it a laneway, that are maybe 100 or 200 meters off of Centenario. The new places, most of them being built 60 to 80 meters, square meters. So 600 and some odd square feet to maybe 830 or 40. They sell for $9 to $12 a square foot. I've just listed two properties, one about a week ago. It's a ninth floor penthouse. It's 270 square meters. It has another 40 square meters of a terrace. So you're looking at a condo, 5-bedroom, 5-bathroom, a reception area, a large office, beautiful kitchen with an island, built-in dishwasher, built-in stove, cooktop, beautiful natural light in the best barrio in Armenia. The terrace is about 450 square feet. Easily take 2 pool tables or a pool table and a ping pong table covered, overlooking the city, off to the distant mountains. It's selling for $7 a square foot. I listed another property today, condominium on the 5th floor. It's a year and a half old, about 1,500 square feet. And it's 3-bedroom, 4-bathroom, beautiful balcony, again overlooking the city. It's $10 a square foot. So we'll compare them to building prices in the United States, and they're only a fraction. I will say again, our advice to you is to rent, if you don't know Armenia, at least 6 months. And you can do that on the tourist visa, because you get 180 days on the tourist visa. You can also apply for a pension visa while you're here on that tourist visa. That it's taking a couple of weeks to get one. But you could have that pension visa, and for whatever reason, they vary the time that they give it to you. It can be 1, 2, or 3 years. A friend of mine just got it. He got it for 10 months. And I don't know why that is, but the program is 1, 2, or 3 years. So those are the things that I think you need to take into consideration. Don't let anyone talk you into buying. That's just my personal feeling. I think rental, you can get short-term rentals, 6 months. They ask for guarantors here, but you don't need to because money talks. You maybe pay first and last month or first and last 2 months, and that's fine. And you get the apartment that you want. There's only 3 or 4 barrios to rent in, as there's only 3 or 4 barrios to buy in, and that's where we come in, and we have we give advice, but only on places where we would live ourselves. That brings us to the end of the video. Took a little longer than I thought it would. This is William Hutchison of Armenia, Colombia Realty for Expats. I live in paradise. You can too.